All right, in the dying light of the setting sun in this Arctic tundra that we call Canada, let me do a waffle video. Hello, it's been a little while. I'm Jay, and yeah, let me just waffle for a little while here. Hi, I wasn't here for November. How'd it go? I don't know. I'm not going to go back and check. I took November off, just kind of a confluence of things. I did the NaNoWriMo this year, got my 50,000, yippee, and continuing on at the moment, trying to actually finish what I have wrought, which is pretty overwrought. And it's always an interesting thing, National Novel Writing Month, of committing to writing those words. I find it's a really good thing to do in conjunction with being a reader, is just every once in a while trying to be a writer, just kind of make believe funsies trying to be a writer, and just how difficult that is. Every year I'm like, this is harder than it looks. I was like, no, actually, I kind of knew that already, but like, oh, to know it in your bones doing that. So yes. Even though I haven't been on BookTube, I find that I still make videos compulsively. It's one of these things like, yeah, I think if there wasn't a BookTube, if there wasn't YouTube, I would still be making videos. There's something about the process that I really enjoy. Not many of those are usable. You will see me banging on about Colette once again, a biography of Colette. That will be coming out, I know, and maybe a review of a reread of Less by Andrew Sean Greer. I have not gone on and read the follow-up to Less. Less is Lost yet. Heard mixed things about that, but then again, I heard mixed things about Less. So we shall see. As far as life goes, I think Christmas plans are, barring chicken pox getting in the way, we'll get a visit from my niece and her in-laws, her parents, in the next week or so. So that'll be kind of our humble Christmas celebrations. Just how it flies this year. Christmas falls on my weekend, so I'll get those 2 days, and then it's back into the fray, and God, I have to say, dealing with everybody's Christmas issues, including my own. Oh, speaking of issues, I have got my birthday coming up, a day that will live in infamy, even for a Canadian. Yes, I think every year that puts me into a little bit of that existential crisis of, oh God, I'm getting older. What have I done with my life? Says the guy who's talking into a camera in his backyard while his Havanese wanders about blissfully. So there's that. And I've been reading. Yes, the biography of Colette, Secrets of the Flesh by Judith Thurman. Aliette de Bodard, Vitka, one book, one review, one book. Recommended those, and I found that was enjoyable. Maybe I'll blather about them. I paused The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, just because I can't spend that much time with the Nazis, and it's a giant book, and I'm a slow reader, so I'm just kind of dipping back and forth into it until I've gotten my fill of Nazis. I wander away again. I started and then ended up abandoning Witches, Salem 1692, I think it is, by Stacey Schiff, which it's really well written, but it doesn't have a main character. And I don't think Schiff gets the whole kind of a group cohesion going enough for me that actually drew me in. It became just a blizzard of names and a blizzard of details that I didn't care enough about, because I just didn't have that sense. I've heard she's done amazing work of a biography of like Cleopatra and stuff like that, which is probably where I'll check her out. But yeah, which is just, I did not have enough appetite for that. I told you about Less. Continuing with the needs for word, Patsy Rodenburg, voice coach, Patsy Rodenburg's book. After complaining about it, of her just kind of bloviating about kind of her opinions on stuff, we've gotten into this one chapter, which is just super packed with a lot of interesting exercises and stuff about vocal performance, and working on my umming and awing and all my other deficiencies as a public speaker, or a video speaker, which is really the only thing I'm going for. I spent a good hunk of November trying to review Like, Comment, and Subscribe by Mark Bergen, which is a business book on the chaotic rise of YouTube to world domination. And it's one of these reviews where I tried like about 3 times. I recorded a review, but I never got it. I never got it to even my low standards, which it frustrates me. But I think in the end, it was just like, I don't know if I had that much to say about the book that wouldn't just turn into an opinion piece on YouTube. It was good at kind of getting into the behind the scenes of YouTube, the business side of, he did like interviews with, I think it's like over 160 YouTube employees, former or current YouTube or Google employees, the owner of YouTube quite quickly after it was actually founded. So it was, you needed a gigantic company like Google to make YouTube possible. And, unsurprisingly, it's a corporation, and a corporation wants to make money. It wants to keep its advertisers happy. And that's its primary focus. And, it also spends a lot of money on making sure it isn't regulated. And that's probably not a great thing. And I mean, as a culture, I think with all these companies, we're trying to figure out, how much do we regulate? Like, China's way over on this side, and free speech absolutists like Elon Musk are maybe over on the other side, and it's like there's somewhere in the middle there that we've yet to figure out. But yeah, it was just going to be in a big opinion piece. It also does kind of the history of YouTube, on the front-facing history of YouTube, all the scandals, all the mass shootings, all the various things that get reflected in YouTube. It does a good job of doing that, and I even had like kind of basically a kind of a playlist of all those YouTube videos. It's one of these things. It's a subject where it recorded its own history, and I made a little just kind of list of all the videos and some additional videos that I thought were relevant to it. And I might even put that at the bottom there, just like a little playlist of all the kind of just YouTube history, which I knew quite a bit about, surprisingly, going through, hanging out at the right things. So yeah, there was that abject failure, or not a failure, because it's like, it was only like, oh yeah, I didn't get it. And it's like, actually knowing that you didn't get it is probably a step up, and yeah, at the moment I'm reading Darryl by Jackie S., which is, on the face of it, a book about a guy whose fetish is being cuckolded, but Jackie S. is a trans woman, and it's really a great kind of another examination, kind of along the lines of oh god damn it, it's immediately gone out of my head, but she actually gives a blurb on the front of it. I can't remember, but it's gone out of my head. But it's a really interesting exploration of masculinity, again, from another angle that isn't, bro dudes saying how you have to be a man, or Jordan Peterson and clean up your room and walk the lobster, or whatever the fuck he's talking about, asshole Canadian. Yeah. So I'm really enjoying that at the moment. And yeah, that's about it for reading. There is going to be more time off coming up for me. I think it's like, okay, that was my first annual taking November off, and now it's going to be my let's take December off. Which, is, I think it might be kind of a healthy ebb and flow for me of like, be on, watch some stuff, but don't be too sucked in. Finding that balance. So, I'll probably hang around until about the 11th, dropping the odd odd thing, and then I'll bugger off again, and come back, and then come back come back in the new year, which is like, yeah, it's one of these things. I am continually, I think, like everybody, continually experimenting, trying out different things about how to live in the world, and also live here online. And it's a nice thing to just sort of make mindful decisions about stuff versus letting everything carry you along. All right, that's been 10 and somewhat minutes of this blather, and I'll leave you there. I hope you're having a good holidays, and yeah, hope you're having good holidays. All right, I'll leave it there.